Hi. Well, today I just came down here, do a little bit dinking around. Had to put a new bulb in there. I had some of these seedlings that had extra shoots coming out, and I thought, you know what, clean them up, get that extra stuff cut out of there. That way, that root system is only concentrating on one stem growing up, not two. I had like 3 of them that had 2 stems growing up, and I figured, you know, get rid of one. Today what I wanted to talk about is I came down here to do what it is that I normally do, and I set a fan up. Now you can see these seedlings. I don't know if you're able to see them or not. They're just barely moving around. Now, several years ago, I planted some hybrid bur oaks out there, and I had 4 of them. 3 of them I put in tree tubes, and 1 I decided I'm going to set it off to the side and plant it by itself without the tree tube. Put a fence around it, protected it. And over a period of time, over several years, what ended up happening was that tree grew just as quickly as the other 3 did, with the exception that the girth on that trunk was far greater than the girth on the trunks of the other 3. Since then, I've taken the stakes holding the tubes steady off of them, and they're beginning to get that girth, and actually the girth's getting big enough that it's splitting the tubes completely off that tree, which I'm going to cut them off this spring. That being said, I put this fan on here to do that with these seedlings. Normally what ends up happening with the seedlings is I have to put stakes alongside of that seedling, because they'll get about 18, 24 inches tall by the time planting season comes in. I put them in tree tubes, which is fine and dandy, but without that stake, they won't stand up on their own. They just too spindly, and they just want to lean and fall. That's not good. What I'm hoping to accomplish here is to give that little seedling just a little bit of movement. Now this fan I got set up right here, it'll only be running while I'm at home. I'm not going to leave it running while I'm asleep, and I'm not going to leave it running while I'm at work. So it'll get probably a good 8 to 12 hours of movement on these seedlings. That slight movement to kind of stretch that base just a little bit to provoke it to want to get a little bit of girth on that limb. These are larocas. I wasn't planning on doing chestnuts this year, but the larocas that I planted out there, they were only 3 years old, and they produced chestnuts for the first time, which kind of surprised me. That's quicker than any of the other chestnut varieties that I have planted has done. Maybe it's the ground. A lot of people been here, they can't believe how rich the soil is that I have in the area here. A lot of that's got to do with the fact I cleared woods out, and it was all wooded, and it had a lot of nutrients in the ground already. But anyways, that being said, this year, for the first time, I did sawtooth oaks, good food source for deer, and I'm pretty excited. That's the first time I've done them, and I had 100% germination. I ended up with 100% germination out of the chestnuts, and out of the hybrid bur oaks that I germinated. I only had 1 that did not germinate out of the entire bag, and right now I have persimmons that are in the process of waking up. So that being said, having this fan on this means I'm going to probably have to stay on top of the watering a little bit more than what I did prior to the fan. I watered probably twice a week, and I don't water every day. It's just enough to keep that moist. I don't want to keep it too wet. Well, my name's Jim. If you like what you see, subscribe, and don't forget to click on that bell to get notifications. You all have a blessed day.